Imagine your neighbor steals your car. There's no police to call. No court to sue in. No jail waiting to hold him. For most of human history, that wasn't a hypothetical. That was Tuesday. And somehow, humans survived anyway. You'd think chaos. You'd think constant violence, constant theft, constant betrayal. But for over 90% of the time humans have existed on this planet, there were no laws written down anywhere. No badges. No handcuffs. No judges in robes. Just people living in small bands, trusting each other enough to sleep at night. So what actually stopped ancient humans from killing each other? The answer isn't that they were kinder than you. It's that they built something more effective than any prison. They built reputation. Picture a hunter-gatherer band of 30 people. Everyone knows everyone. There's no anonymity to hide behind. If you cheat someone on a food split, every person in that camp hears about it by nightfall. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm spent decades studying small-scale societies, and he found something striking. These groups actively suppressed anyone who tried to dominate others. Bullies didn't rise to the top. They got mocked, ignored, or pushed out. Boehm called this a reverse dominance hierarchy. The group, as a whole, held more power than any single person trying to seize it. Think about that for a second. Before governments existed, the government was everyone watching everyone else. And the tool they used wasn't a weapon. It was talk. Gossip. You've probably been told gossip is petty. Something to avoid. But evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar argued that gossip may be one of the most important survival tools our species ever developed. Dunbar's research suggests that as human groups grew larger, physical grooming, the way primates bond by picking through each other's fur, became too time-consuming to maintain every relationship. Language replaced it. And a huge portion of everyday language, then and now, is just people talking about other people. Who's trustworthy? Who's lazy? Who stole meat last winter? Who shared it generously? That information traveled fast, and it stuck. In a world with no written records, your reputation was your only currency. Ruin it, and you didn't just lose a friend. You lost your safety net. Because in ancient life, you couldn't survive alone. A single hunter rarely brings down large prey by himself. A single family can't defend against a raid, or nurse a broken leg back to health, or split childcare during a famine. You needed the group. And the group needed a reason to keep you in it. This is where exile enters the picture. Not prison. Exile. Modern punishment locks people in a box. Ancient punishment cast them out of the tribe entirely. And that was often a death sentence, just a slower one. Alone, outside the group, a person faced predators, starvation, and rival bands with no reason to show mercy. So the fear of exile did something remarkable. It made people police themselves before anyone else had to. Nobody wanted to be caught stealing, lying, or hoarding, because everybody understood the cost. Not a fine. Not a few years behind bars. Erasure from the only safety the world offered. But here's where it gets stranger. Ancient humans didn't just punish people who directly wronged them. They punished people who wronged others too, even when it cost them something to do it. This is called altruistic punishment, and researchers, including economist Joseph Henrich, ran experiments across dozens of cultures to test it. In these experiments, participants would voluntarily give up their own resources just to penalize someone who had cheated another person in the group, someone they had no personal stake in. It made no logical sense for pure self-interest. Why sacrifice something you have just to punish a stranger's bad behavior toward another stranger? Unless the goal was never individual benefit. Unless the goal was protecting the group itself. Henrich's studies, along with the work of researchers studying cooperation across small-scale societies, revealed that people are wired to feel outrage on behalf of others, not just themselves. That outrage isn't a flaw. It's a feature. It's the emotional alarm system that kept ancient communities from collapsing into every person for themselves. Which brings us to something you feel almost daily, and probably never connected to your ancestors. Have you ever seen someone act a little too proud, a little too boastful, and felt a small flicker of irritation? That flicker has a name. Researchers call it leveling behavior, and it shows up in hunter-gatherer societies across the globe, from the Kalahari to the Arctic. Here's how it worked. When a hunter returned with a massive kill, the group didn't throw him a parade. In many recorded cultures, they mocked the size of it. They joked that the animal was scrawny, or that he got lucky. Anthropologists who lived among these groups noted this wasn't cruelty. It was maintenance. It kept successful individuals from feeling superior to everyone else, because a superior individual is a step away from becoming a dominant one. And dominant individuals, left unchecked, become dangerous ones. So the group deflated egos on purpose. Constantly. Quietly. Automatically. You do this too, whether you notice it or not. When a coworker brags too hard about a promotion, or a friend won't stop talking about their new house, something in you bristles. That bristle isn't jealousy in the way you think of it. It's a leftover leveling instinct, thousands of generations old, designed to stop hierarchies from forming where they might threaten group survival. Now here's the twist underneath all of this. None of these systems, reputation, gossip, exile, altruistic punishment, leveling, required a single written rule. They didn't need a legal code. They needed emotion. Guilt. Shame. Outrage. Pride, and the discomfort of watching someone else's pride grow too large. Psychologist Michael Tomasello, who studied the roots of human cooperation, argued that these moral emotions likely evolved specifically because humans depend on group living to survive in a way most other species don't. A chimpanzee can go it alone if it has to. An early human, largely, could not. So evolution didn't just give humans intelligence. It gave humans feelings engineered to hold a group together, because a human without a group was a human without a future. Guilt made you return what you took before anyone caught you. Shame made the thought of exile unbearable enough to avoid the behavior that caused it. Outrage made you stand up for someone else's fair treatment, even at a cost to yourself. These weren't abstract virtues. They were survival software running quietly underneath conscious thought. And it worked. For roughly 300,000 years, small human communities held together without a single written law, without a single officer, without a single courtroom. Violence still happened. Ancient life was not a utopia. But it was regulated, constantly, by a decentralized system of watching, whispering, warning, and occasionally casting someone out into the cold. Then agriculture happened. Groups grew from 30 people to 3,000, then 30,000. And suddenly, gossip couldn't reach everyone. Reputation stopped traveling fast enough. Exile stopped being enforceable when a wrongdoer could simply walk to the next town over and start fresh, unknown, and unwatched. That's when laws, formal ones, written and enforced by strangers, had to step in and do the job that community pressure used to handle on its own. But the old system never disappeared. It just went underground, into your nervous system. You still feel your stomach drop when you think everyone at work is talking about you. You still feel a flash of anger when you watch someone get away with cheating, even if it never touched your life directly. You still feel that small, involuntary urge to knock someone down a peg when they get a little too full of themselves. None of that is random. It's a fossil. An emotional fossil of a world where the group was the only law, and being cast out of it was the only real crime that mattered. So the next time you feel a pang of guilt before you've even done anything wrong, or a flicker of judgment about someone else's behavior that has nothing to do with you, remember what it actually is. It's not a personality quirk. It's not overthinking. It's 30 people around a fire, watching each other, 300,000 years ago, making sure no one had to become anyone's police.